There's not a lot of things that make me mad. This war, though, well, when the last iTunes update from 3 years ago made the program worse again, then the cyber war took down the internet so they couldn't patch the update. I guess I should have taken that as a sign. It really wasn't until I went to college and met those chicken shit cowards who call themselves intellectuals that my eyes were opened. No, they didn't enlighten me, but they did drive me to make a decision. I wasn't going to sit there and let the metas just stroll into my hometown with their twisted new world order. Oh no. They weren't going to redistribute my family's capital or abridge my family's freedoms for the sake of a greater world. No, not without a fight. I used to think that it was up to the military to defend us, like they were some sort of separate entity that would always be there to guard the rest of us. After joining, I realized that the military is just made up of regular people. The difference, though? We know what's at stake, and we're willing to fight to protect it. Our whole way of life is at risk. I got sick of hearing others philosophize about how they think that we're no better than the metas and that fighting is just some kind of pointless exercise of human nature. Like they're just too sophisticated or open-minded to accept that killing these bastards might just be the appropriate response to their aggression. Screw those people. I don't have time for it. I know Mom and Dad weren't happy about me joining the Army, but I felt like I just had to. I can always go back to a different college later. Besides, what good is a degree gonna do me if we lose the war? You know, I felt out of place at college, but in the military, I strangely feel right at home. Sure, there's danger and chaos, but there's also discipline and purpose. We know why we're here. We know what we're doing. It's not like when I was a freshman and undeclared just filling my schedule with gen eds because I didn't know what else to do with myself. In the Army, I found what I was good at. Fixing things, shooting people. In fact, I was so good they put me in the 10th Special Missions Unit. My best friend Lexi ended up there too. One of the reasons I joined the Army was so she could remain safe at home. But I would be lying if I didn't say that she is every bit as good a soldier as I am. She's my best friend, but I guess I'm still learning about her. I'm glad she's here, but now I feel like I have to look out for her. But you know, it's really not any different than how I feel about the rest of the unit. Now, I drive an Abrams tank, so if I don't do my job, it's not just my life at risk, but also the lives of the other 3 members of the crew. Lexi's loading, Millie's shooting, and LT is in command. I'd be willing to die for any one of them, but as long as everyone keeps doing their jobs, I hopefully won't have to. The fear of death doesn't bother me as long as those ladies are around. I'll tell you what does bother me. Having to start searching for fuel every 200 miles. Sure, we're still on the US front lines, so we haven't had too much trouble finding places to fill up, but geez, the top brass redirected all of our support units. What kind of BS is that? We used to be able to refuel anywhere as long as the tankers had fuel, but now, instead of only stopping every once in a while to fill up the tankers at a fuel depot, we have to constantly search for fuel stations off course from where we're supposed to be headed. The Abrams burns over 1.5 gallons of fuel per mile of travel. Do you have any idea how much fuel it's taking to get to the East Coast? A shitload! That's how much it's taking! Hopefully, when we get to Europe, they'll assign another fuel truck and crew to support us. But if things are going like they are here, I kinda doubt that will happen. We're never going to find the disruptor device at this rate, or catch up to the first platoon for that matter. The commander seemed very upset about that when we were first denied passage by train. I've never seen her like that before. But I haven't since either. I think she's right. No point in dwelling on things we can't control. Besides, out here on the front lines, we get to dish out the hurt on the metas. Particularly the PLA. The PLA have been everywhere we've gone. Whether it's paratroopers, armored units, or attack choppers, they're like some sort of insect. They're everywhere. But when we got to Ohio, we got the sense that the PLA were becoming desperate. I think they're starting to become stretched thin. Word is that the Canadians have completely halted the metas' advance north despite heavy Russian air support from over the pole. Now we're in Pennsylvania. I've never been here before. I thought it was all going to be industrial based on what we saw near Pittsburgh, but now I'm starting to think that it's all farmland and forests. It's like the whole damn center part of the state is its own country. Nothing like what I was expecting. What's good is that I don't think the PLA expected it either. They've been storming across the north, but our National Guard striker units have been stabbing them pretty hard. Even though radios and radar are down, nothing's stopping our A-10s from spotting Chinese armor in the open and blasting them to pieces with their Gatling cannons. That cracking buzz far in the distance. Oh, it is like music to my ears. We're gonna push every one of those meta assholes back to their scum cavity of a homeland they crawled out of. Look, I know I probably won't make it out of this alive, and that is just fine with me. As long as I've done what I can to help us win this war, I'd much rather die out here as a soldier than live back home a gutless bystander.